Hi, Brenda. So tell me a little bit about your business and how do you serve your customers?
Yeah, so I'm a personal stylist. However, how I serve my clients differently is that I have a very soulful and holistic approach as we work together. So for me, when I work with someone, it's not just about the outer image or the outfits. It's by digging deeper. I do feel like our our emotional selves, our inner selves are very connected.
Yeah.
So I always bring that into styling sessions, and I serve my clients by I feel we all have a higher self.
Yeah.
And so I look finding out what my client's higher self looks like by guiding them through a visualization and getting a picture of that. And what I do is I always say I bring that into the 3D world, into this world with beautiful outfits that align with that image that they want to achieve.
Yeah, you do a fabulous job.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So give us one piece of inspiration that drives you, that benefits others.
Yeah, so one piece of inspiration is that I have many. But my inspiration mostly is I work with corporate women or I've been in women leaders. And I know how hard it is to have possibly a family or many things going on at the same time. And at the same time, building a career, building a business. I've kind of done it myself and I have 4 kids. So I know that as women, how hard we work, but then also that we're working so hard for others or for our careers that we tend to put certain things in the background. One of them is ourselves, our emotional health, and our image. And I feel that image is very personal and can definitely be a tool for self-care. So one of my inspirations is getting women to realize, to use that tool. And it's not always about trends and the high fashion. It's just by dressing every day in a way that you feel good and look in the mirror and you're like, I love this person.
Yeah.
And so that's my inspiration and of course my goal.
As you know, that's one of the things I've struggled with, just trying to feel confident, and showing up. And that's huge. I'm just bringing that's a huge solution to help someone through because you could be so insecure when you're trying to like close a deal or deal with someone and you're not feeling your best. So I love that.
Oh, you need to feel your best. That's how you're going to attract more business, more clients. Shop for yourself, honestly. Like I've worked with many clients and they've gone through a transformation and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that wearing different clothes, but she's feeling good in myself, like can bring up so much good just in other aspects of my life.
Yeah, that's such a problem. I mean, I'm in the construction industry. I feel like it's so hard to try to feel feminine in myself.
This is very again, right?
Yeah, so I just, that's why I'm working with you. I love it. Oh, so what's the moment in your journey that changed everything? Like, where was that aha moment?
One moment. Okay, yeah. So we can go back, many years. I've been doing this for 5 years. And the thing what changed is I always grew up kind of like not confident about myself, my body, many things. And so I always looked in the mirror and I never saw myself as pretty or worthy or anything. I felt in my heart that I didn't fit beauty standards. And so I do have kids and I do have a daughter. She's 23 now. And honestly, I got tired one day. I was like, I want to see myself like my husband sees me or how other people see me. I get compliments and you say yes, but you don't really feel that. I was like, I want to start feeling that. And I know that many women struggle with that. We have so many insecurities that can come from like the media showing you what beautiful is. Or perhaps when you were little as growing up, our families would make comments about our bodies or our looks and things like that. So we grew up with those and then those guide how we see ourselves. And more than that is it guides how we dressed. So I got tired of it and I went through this very deep journey, soulful, not just image-wise, and I said, I'm not the only one. I know that many women do that. And again, that's what inspired me to do this. And this is what I want to do I want women to see themselves through the eyes that I love when they see in the mirror.
Yeah. Was there a breaking moment? Like, was there an experience?
I had, going a little deeper, I've had a lot of childhood trauma. And I did go through what some people call dark night of the soul. So I had anxiety, I had depression, all those things. And in a way, I was looking to a way out rather than just like Western medicine. I was like, this has to go deeper. And that's when I started kind of doing yoga and meditation and more introspection in this soulful way. And that's where I was like, I need to connect to myself first in order to heal. And yeah, it definitely brought a lot of healing. So it goes very deep as far as like, it wasn't like, oh, I always dreamed of being an stylist and I played with my mom's, pearls and shoes. It was nothing of that. It came from a very, in the previous episode, with the previous guest, she said, like how her experience turned into this.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, everything comes from chat. Like, to start to.
Great things happen out of challenge and pain. And I went through a lot of it. And, I would actually go through it again.
Yeah.
Just because I love what I do and I love seeing the change in women.
I love that. Well, you're an expert. All right. So, what one belief or lesson you wish people knew about?
One belief is that you are beautiful. When we're kids, we have these smiles and we love ourselves and we love everyone else. And at some point, our society just, we start listening to the outside noise and start thinking all these horrible things about ourselves. And so I just wish like everybody was more of that childlike and say, hey, nothing changed except you grew up and you started listening to all this nonsense. We need to stop that because I feel like we would be such different people in such different society if we didn't.
Yeah, I just so love that. That's like where change happens. You just have to step into it.
Yes.
There's not something that needs to happen or all of a sudden you got prettier. It's you just accepted it.
Yes, accept who you are, your flaws, your imperfections, your perfections.
Yeah.
We're all perfect in different ways. So there's no one standard of beauty. There's no one size.
I agree with it. I would change that too. Okay, what's one quirky habit or suspicion? Oh my gosh, tongue twister. Here, and I did her fine. You had that helped you in your business.
Oh, I think I've never been tested, but I do think I have ADHD. I can do many things at the same time. I can multitask, and can have different projects, and I get them done because again, instead of using it as like, oh, I have ADHD, like I can't focus. It's like, oh my God, if I have this, I can get so much done at once. So sometimes I'm shopping for clients while I'm maybe washing dishes, while I'm maybe listening to a podcast, and I get it done. I do feel that for me, I thrive under pressure, believe it or not. I thrive under pressure. It's like, oh, hey, I'm going to get these done right now. And many people like can't handle it. I get shit done.
Yeah. So I can totally, I feel like we have so much in common.
Yes, and you have kids too, so you probably know.
Right. Yeah, we have so much. But yeah, so I moved bought my house in 2 weeks and did a whole graduation in 2 weeks. And it's like, that's the only thing it's going to get me to get it done. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Oh, I had a question. I know many women work, like yourself, and very male dominated industry. And I know that I work with many women like that. And I know that a lot of them feel that they have to take on the energy or the appearance of what men wear in order to be seen as, as the guy that you can do the job, that you're not going to slack off, that you can be strong. So a lot of times we take onto that male dominated energy when we put our feminine aside, but it's in our feminine that we thrive.
I'm learning this. I mean, so I will go to work and then I'll come home and just like, I need to take my clothes off. I need to put a dress on. Like I have to like just peel this off, this work layer on. But that's a huge challenge of mine. I mean, I love feeling feminine and I want to be in my feminine, but I also get kind of disrespected sometimes. And I know I sent a message to you, but customers are like, you're not going to get customers. People are not going to respect you. And I kind of feel that there. And I have a really hard time trying to balance that. It literally is like, this is the majority of my day going through these challenges. Like I'll have clothes in the back of my car where I'm like switching from heels to work shoes and then back and forth depending on my meetings. And it's so frustrating. I wish there was, I wouldn't be able to go to a customer's meeting in this outfit, which I don't know why. Like I don't know how to transition from either side, and how to fix that because there's a perspective I'm supposed to carry on this side, So I'm trying to balance that. It's an interesting challenge for sure.
It is very interesting, and I can understand the challenge. Sometimes it has to be to where like, do you want to transition? I know it can be scary because you can lose clients. And, I've told you, it's like, well, let's work on like getting you more aligned clients that can see past, and it's okay to be feminine. And sometimes it comes from like a place where like those clients need to see more of that masculine, and especially because in your industry.
Yeah.
But, as women, we need to learn that, again, we can embrace our feminine side and still run our businesses. I mean, I used to be a stylist at Nordstrom, and I saw this beautiful woman. She was so feminine, but she was running like multi-million-dollar company.
See, dreams.
Exactly. But I feel I don't think she was dressing for her clients. She was just showing up as the powerful woman that she is, and she was just, getting it done. And I'm sure she probably went through that. And it is scary. I know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess on the other side of that, it's dressing appropriate to get the job done.
Yeah,
like I kiss your client, I can't work in heels.
That is very true. It's also about being appropriate. I'm not saying like wear heels, climb the ladders, be feminine off. Yeah, there's a time and a place for everything.
Right.
I always tell people read the room.
Yeah.
Or find out a room you're going to be in. And I always say like, you don't have to be frumpy even if everybody is friendly. It's like I'd rather like overdress because that's how you're gonna leave an impression. They might forget your name, but they're not gonna forget what you were wearing. Exactly. I saw those cute shoes or the blazer or the well dressed. So what was her name? What did she do? I keep hate her. So and sometimes you attract people that way because we're very visual beings. That's why we spend so much time on the phone.
Yeah.
So when you have this beautiful visual, people will remember you and they'll want to know what you're doing. And in return, you can create more change.
Yeah. I had to tell you too, I have 3 daughters, and one of the challenges is trying to teach them how to dress appropriate. One's a way more curvaceous at a young age that she didn't know, right?
Yeah.
And so there was a lesson in there, and you just said it, so that's why I brought it up. But I was like, you don't wear a bathing suit to a funeral because it's not appropriate. And that's kind of how I want you to view. It's not that you're wrong and we don't want that body part showing. It's just we want to make it to where you don't have to be treated badly because you're not showing up appropriate. So it's kind of that balance because I grew up very religious, and so I fight a lot of that where I don't like my dad telling me I can't wear a short skirt, that rebellion side. But on the other hand, it's appropriate, you are, and it's not for others, but for you. It's just so you're more comfortable so you can feel confident. And so I think that was a huge piece when it shifted in my head when I was in the darkness, like you said, figuring out my, where I can show up confident and just love myself. And that has a huge journey. But yeah, showing up being appropriate for you.
Yeah, you were the room. I always say respect your room. I think there was like a couple of weeks, the former prime minister showed up to, I think, the King's speech over in Britain, in sneakers, and those like in the suit. Oh wow, you're meeting like the royal family. Like I don't think like Adidas sneakers, no, like are that appropriate. Like you could have just thrown it like the leather shoes and look amazing. Yeah. And that's where I go. It's like read the room, respect the room, always.
Well, you probably did read the room and wanted to be a little rebellious.
Yeah, true.
Hey, it's Will with the Podcast Crew team. Spotlight is a vidcast shot at the Podcast Crew Studios in Minneapolis. We would love for you to be our guest email us at the email address on your screen below to get a copy of the upcoming schedule. It's free, it's easy, and it's a great way to try out a podcast or a vidcast with our pro team. We do an in-person, in-studio version if you're in the Twin Cities area, and also an online version if you're somewhere else. We'd love to have you, hear your story, and help you start your podcast journey. Thanks. Get in touch today.